Hello everyone. If you are interested in having similar experiences to those that I have been discussing in my videos, and I would guess from many of the responses that I've received and emails that people are very interested in learning how to have out-of-body experiences and how to have lucid dreams. The foundation that I have had for these things has been in meditation. Now, a lot of the initial experiences that I've shared with these things happened in my childhood before I had a formal path of meditation. Though I would say, and I will either share that now or in some other video, I do believe that my experiences as a child were founded or came out of the foundation of my past experiences in other lives. Now, some of you might not be in tune with the idea of reincarnation in past lives, but it is a very much a reality for me in my life. It isn't something that I feel that I have faith in. It is something that, due to experiences that I've had, that I actually remember. I remember past experiences, and past wisdom and information has been more freely available to me for whatever reasons from a young age, and has become more consciously available as I've moved along in my path and studied meditation and practiced meditation for about 20 years or longer now. So I am always going to recommend a practice of daily meditation for personal development. And that brings me to something I wanted to talk about today, which is a book that's been very helpful to me and very inspiring along the path of meditation and just what is possible through the practice of meditation, and that is the Autobiography of a Yogi, which I'll hold up here for everybody to look at. Autobiography of a Yogi. What I have here is a original, unaltered first edition, and I think if you're going to read this book, I would highly recommend that you find a reprint of the first edition. Now, this one that I have was reprinted by Crystal Clarity Publishers. Now, I believe that the first edition of this is probably in the public domain, so there may be other publishers out there who have put out an original first edition like this. And the reason I would suggest to get the first edition is that Paramahansa Yogananda, who is the yogi who wrote this book, he started a group called the Self-Realization Fellowship, and after he passed on, the group fell into some inner bickering between different disciples of Yogananda, and the teaching became much more organization-like, much more church-like, in that they tried to control the teachings, and so they would go back in further editions of the book and alter some of the presentation, because Yogananda was much more into making Kriya Yoga, which is the foundation meditation practice that he practices and that comes through his lineage. He felt that should be made freely available, and so that his teacher and his teacher's teacher and ultimately Babaji, who was the one who initiated this line of meditation practice of yoga. There's all sorts of stories that are out there about Babaji, who is often called the deathless yogi. He is an ascended master who, at the time that is written of in the Autobiography of a Yogi, he lived in the Himalayas. This would have been the mid-1800s when he initiated Lahiri Mahasaya, who then took Kriya Yoga out into the world and began teaching this from his place as a householder. And then he initiated the teacher of Yogananda, and they form that's the lineage that Yogananda comes from. It was Yogananda, and then his teacher Sri Yuktaswar, and then his guru Lahiri Mahasaya, and then the guru of Lahiri Mahasaya, which is Babaji. So the big point of my talking about Autobiography of a Yogi is that I believe that if you are interested in developing yourself, I cannot promote a path more highly than that of Kriya Yoga. You can find Kriya Yoga either through Ananda, which is a group that was started by one of Yogananda's disciples. His name, who started Ananda, is Kriyananda or Donald Walters, and you can find more on the web by searching for Kriya Yoga and Ananda, and you will find that they have groups all over the world where you might be able to learn more about it and to become initiated into Kriya Yoga and take that on as a daily practice. Now, in Autobiography of a Yogi, Yogananda tells some pretty amazing stories in here. They're incredibly phenomenal stories. Stories of Babaji, for one thing. Some of the most amazing stories are related to Babaji, and he seems to have been have attained the state of enlightenment, and to the fullest extent of the word, meaning that he could turn into light, and that he would dematerialize and can materialize and reform his body just out of the ethers at any point. And now this might sound really fantastic and outlandish to some people, but it is truly in line with everything that is presented in the Christian Bible, and the stories that we find in there surrounding Jesus as the master of his group of disciples. And what we don't hear in the Bible, the information that isn't given, is of the daily kind of prayer and meditation that they did practice. And I would suggest that what they did practice was something very similar to Kriya Yoga, and it is very much in line with what Babaji teaches. And in the New Testament, I guess it's after Jesus had been crucified, he then appeared to a few of his disciples, and he was transformed, and he would appear and disappear. Now, so there are stories within the Bible that are totally in alignment with what with some of the experiences that Yogananda talks about in Autobiography of a Yogi, related to Babaji, related to Lahiri Mahasaya, related to his teacher Sri Yuktaswar, and I also assume that Yogananda may have eventually acquired some of these skills himself, and I think they are skills, and also points of development of consciousness. Once you get to the point where, and it seems to be a human ability at a certain point of development to be able to see through this illusion, through the Maya of this world, and to then be able to transform oneself into a pure state of light, and from there to be able to reform oneself. And this is materialization, dematerialization. Because at that point one is completely one with the spirit. And from there it seems that just about anything is possible.